now, Jason Howell is here. He is the host of All About Android, celebrating 100 episodes tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Unbelievable.
Tonight. I know.
Maybe some old faces will show up.
Possibly so. Working on some cool stuff for tonight's show. For sure.
Special edition of All About Android later tonight. And because you are the Android maven, the host of All About Android with Gina Trapani and Ron Richards, we let you look at the latest and greatest. This is not the latest and greatest.
I wouldn't say so.
Kind of odd that you're reviewing the HTC One
X
Plus.
Yeah, so this is the kind of the follow-up to the One, which was kind of HTC's flagship, I guess, for last year, for 2012.
And a very nice phone. But I've been waiting for the new HTC One. I guess it's delayed. We were just looking on the...
Yeah, so HTC announced this year that they're coming out with their new flagship, the HTC One.
Which will be the same on all carriers.
It's going to be the same. They're going to go for a unified approach this time, more so than they did the last time.
That's not what they did with this. What carrier is the X Plus for?
Exactly. This is AT&T. It's an LTE device. It's the X Plus, and it's definitely an iterative update from the HTC One X. They basically upgraded a few features on here, but just to kind of give you a quick rundown of what we have here. 1.7 gigahertz quad-core Tegra 3 up from 1.5 on the previous generation. That was a dual-core on the previous as well. 1 gig of RAM, 64 gigs of storage up from 32. No SD card slot, so if you need one of those, that's out. The screen is very nice, actually. It's definitely one of the key features here. 4.7-inch 720p display. It has a Gorilla Glass 2, although, and I'm very careful with my phones, I've got little scratches on the front. I don't know if they were there when I got it or if I've done that. But if I've done that, I'm pretty surprised because I take really good care of my phones. 8-megapixel rear-facing camera on the back here, capable of 1080p HD video. And, of course, the 1.6 megapixel front-facing camera with 720p HD video. They upgraded the battery size from the One X from 1,800 milliamp hours to 2,100 milliamp. It's kind of a moderate upgrade, but that is still non-removable. That's one thing about HTC is,
bugs me.
You know, their design, they really kind of make a nice, compact, hard design that I kind of like, but that comes at a cost. A lot of the times it comes at the cost of a non-removable battery being
What kind of life were you getting on that?
I was getting okay. It was actually one of the things I wasn't too excited about with the device, running the device daily. I had a reasonable amount of things syncing, you know, as I usually do, 3 emails, Twitter, Facebook, Google+. I'm also syncing Evernote and Bacon Reader, which is my current Reddit account, app of choice, and I would typically need to charge it somewhere around 3 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and it wasn't running very well. However, if I pull this down up here at the very top, it's a persistent notification called Power Saver Mode, and you can activate that. If you never have any use for this, I don't even know if you can remove it from that notification bar, so it's always there. But what that does is it kind of changes the behavior of your device.
Well, you won't be downloading Twitter.
Well, yeah, exactly. It kind of ramps that all down. So if the screen is off, it's really not doing much syncing.
It doesn't do anything when the screen's off. Yeah.
But when I did that, easily got through a day. I mean, obviously, because it's doing a lot less when. But when you consider that the device is in your pocket a lot of the time, sometimes it's just not that important. What would be really nice is if they gave you the ability to kind of put some apps on a whitelist, or to say, you know, these apps can continue to update regularly. These apps,
maybe
not so much.
Maybe you want to keep getting Twitter, but you don't care about anything else.
And I think they do that on the Sony phones now. They allow you to do those kinds of things. So the battery, not so great. But as far as the design is concerned, I think that ultimately that's
pretty.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a big sucker for HTC design. I like their compact approach. Everything, their phones feel sturdy. Although I don't know how that kind of goes into the breakability standpoint. If you drop it, you know, a lot of times the Samsung plastic, the proponents for that say, hey, it bounces at least. It doesn't just hit the ground and shatter into a million pieces. But I like the design. Performance, you know, it's a quad-core processor in there, and everything feels about as snappy as you would expect it to. Apps moved really well. Another thing that I really liked using on this versus my Galaxy Nexus is Google Now. I mean, it's just really quick compared to what I'm used to. Oh, got to export in-house advertising.
I love Google Now.
Oh, I mean, Now is just
you got
incredible.
Jelly Bean on that one.
Yes, so it is 4.1.1 Jelly Bean. It's not the latest version of Jelly Bean, but I'm sure it's on the way.
Hey,
Beats
at least
Audio,
you got Jelly
if that
Bean,
matters.
and you get Google Now as a result. Beats how does Beats sound on a phone like that?
I'm not a big fan of Beats, to be honest. I find when I use Beats, it doesn't make music sound better. it overemphasizes things that I don't necessarily need overemphasized. And sometimes when I'm like plugging it into my car stereo or certain headphones, it actually makes it sound wrong. It makes it overblown on certain ways. So I'm not a huge fan, but if you like Beats, I guess it's there for you.
Pros and cons.
Pros, I would say solid design. Definitely, that's one of my favorite things about HTC devices, and this is no different. The display is very nice. It's 720, and now the current kind of trend is 1080.
Yeah.
But I think 720 in this case is perfectly sufficient.
How big a screen did you say?
4.7.
Oh, it's a pretty big screen.
Yeah, it's a good size screen. Performance, of course, as I said, also it performs pretty well. The cons are the camera. Actually, I didn't even talk about the camera. Pictures, the software is great. I really like Sense's kind of approach on their software with the camera, but the results of the pictures just really grainy. When you pull them onto a computer, they overprocess them. I almost feel like the pictures would look better if they just took out some of that smart processing. The battery, of course, non-removable and doesn't last so long. And I think ultimately the big thing here is it's poor timing. Why would you buy this if the HTC One, the next one, is
even
right
delayed,
around the corner?
It's just a few weeks away.
Yeah, exactly. This came out somewhere around November, December of last year. So this review is admittedly a little bit late. But at this point, I wouldn't buy this unless it was really discounted in price. Because if you're thinking about dropping $200 on a device like this, you should wait for the HTC One and check it out because it's got a lot more going for it.
So it sounds like a don't buy.
I'd say don't buy.
Yeah. Was a great phone in its time.
It's weird. It's like there are parts of it that I really like. It's hard to give it a don't buy, but it's really hard to recommend to buy it either because the HTC Ones are around the corner.
And the battery of life is a killer. And you're going to get much better screen resolution.
Yeah.
The new HTC One screen is reputedly dynamite. Well, we'll make sure you get a review unit.
I would love to. Absolutely.
Out. Thank you, Jason
Awesome.
Howell, producer of TNT, host of All About Android.